Hello, check, check.
Morality. It's going to be about the obliteration of gender as well. And Joe Biden, in the middle of the speech celebrating same-sex marriage, for example, he decided to link together many, many different things that are not the same. So he says that racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, and
Blah, blah, blah,
transphobia
blah,
are
blah.
all connected. So in other words, the same sort of person who opposes same-sex marriage must hate Jews.
What's this argument, dog? Like, you're like, no, I just hate gays. I don't hate Jews. Like, is that what you're saying? Listen, get it right. I personally only hate trans people, not Jews. It's just weird that other people who hate trans people
Mic check,
also
1,
seem to
2,
hate
3.
Jews, as we found out
Yo,
from
let's
the latest
go.
Kanye West saga. But, you know, that's always going to be forever a surprise to me. Because I refuse to recognize that there is this connection of hate and bigotry. It's intersectional.
The same sort of person who does not believe that children should be trans, that you
Mic
shouldn't be
check,
giving
1, 2,
6-year-olds
3.
hormone treatments and 16-year-olds breast removals, that is the sort of person who hates black people. This is just nonsense. The only thing holding together the intersectional coalition is opposition to traditional values and traditional institutions. That's the only
I love Ben Shapiro fucking riding. He's literally just like, listen, some homophobes are anti-Semitic, but not all homophobes are anti-Semitic. There's a distinction.
that's the only way you can even make sense of what Joe Biden is saying right here. It's so nonsensical.
Racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, transphobia, they're all connected. But the antidote to hate is love. This law and the love it defends
Yo.
strike a blow against hate in all its forms.
By the way, if you disagree with him, you're hateful and he hates you and you should be destroyed. That's the kind of love he means. It's smiley face fascism. Right? It's a heart on it. And then
Yeah, fascists notoriously love gay people and trans people.
it's really nice. It's love, guys. It's love. When he walks into your church and says that you need to do things the way he wants you to do them. When he walks into your business, because it turns out that religious people are religious throughout their lives, not just at church. When he walks into your business and demands that you celebrate particular types of activity that you find to be sinful or wrong, then that's a form of love, according to Joe Biden. He makes this clear, by the way. If you say you should not perform mutilating surgery on 15-year-old girls who wrongly believe they are boys, this means that if he says that we have to compel
That's crazy because it didn't seem like Joe Biden said that at all. I'm no big city lawyer, but it didn't seem like Brandon was saying that.
you to do those things, that we have to punish you for saying, for example, that a boy is a boy and a girl is a girl, then that's a form of love. The highest form of love is Joe Biden and the state cudgeling you into acceptance of the new morality, which is why Joe Biden in the middle, again, this is an event celebrating same-sex marriage, right? Theoretically, it should have nothing whatsoever to do with transgenderism. These are two very separate issues. I know many
Issues.
gay men and women who are married and who also oppose the transing of the kids. These are not related issues unless you actually believe that all of it is directed toward the destruction of something else. It's unity in an attempt to destroy.
I love that he says these are not related issues and then turns around and relates them. He's like, these are not related issues unless they are, but they're related because the underlying goal is destroying Western society. Like, you're the one who's relating them, bro. What the fuck?
The answer is because there's an underlying ideology there which says that sex, like biological sex, is of no consequence whatsoever. It's true in marriage and it's true on the individual level, according to Joe Biden. Here we go.
We need to challenge the hundreds of callous and cynical laws introduced in the states targeting transgender children, terrifying families, and criminalizing doctors who give children the care they need. We have to protect these children so they know they're loved.
Okay, what exactly does this have to do with anything What does it have to do with same-sex marriage? It has nothing to do with it, except, again, that this is the first step. What we're watching here is just another step. That's slippery.
It's almost like you originally in 2019 said things like, oh, gay marriage is fine, just the trans people I don't care for. And now you're saying, oh shit, gay marriage is not fine either. It's almost like there is a level of bigotry that is like kind of acceptable, like overt bigotry that's kind of acceptable and normalized in society that Ben is very aware of. And because Joe Biden is also aware of that, everyone is aware of that. Anyone who pays attention to politics is aware of this, that in order to ensure that civil liberties are not further undermined, they wanted to codify this. Maybe that's the reason why they did it. Like, especially so, if it was completely irrelevant, if it was completely silly, if it was just like nonsensical, if it was nothing, Ben wouldn't cut 30 to 40 minutes of it, right? If it's nothing, if it's irrelevant, then why are you so bent? Why are you so fucking bent out of shape?
There is no bottom to the slippery slope that we are now on, societally speaking. And Joe Biden is making that perfectly clear. And they made this perfectly clear in who they decided to invite to this event. So Karine Jean-Pierre, the world's most untalented press secretary, she was saying yesterday that extreme conservatives are going to attack the Respect for Marriage Act, but they're going to tell you have to. You see, you have to be an extreme conservative to believe that traditional marriage is the basis for human civilization. You have to believe. You have to be a crazy person, basically, to think man, woman, child is the basis for functional civilizations. You see how far we've come in 16 short years?
I mean, yeah, and I think it was silly back then, and it is silly now to advocate for such a thing. I mean, primitive accumulation was longer.
And that's an amazing statement. You're an extreme conservative now. If you believe the same thing that Barack Obama said he believed in 2011, right? It's now 2022. Haven't been that long. But you're an extreme conservative nut job.
Oh, God. It's just like they're two sides of the same coin. Barack Obama didn't give a fuck about gay people one way or the other in 2007. He was just going along with what is considered to be politically fashionable at the time. Just like Ben has always hated gay people. I'm fairly certain that Barack Obama probably didn't fucking hate gay people in 2007. It's the same exact principle. Ben knows it so well because he abides by it. Ben was always anti-gay marriage, wrote about it extensively, and then there was a period of time where he shut the fuck up about it, like when he went on the Joe Rogan podcast and said, oh, well, you know, I'm not a theocratic fascist, as I showed you earlier. It's about what is deemed acceptable, because these people are political demons, okay? Unlike myself, a person who gets routinely punished for having consistent takes that some find unfavorable. A person who sometimes will get things wrong and will openly admit that they got something wrong and
thank you. And doing what Marshawn Lynch
Hemingway would not do well today in this culture. He was just the opposite of everything they're trying to woke us up today. If Ernest Hemingway
Hell yeah.
were here today, I'm sure he would be totally canceled. No doubt about it.
What, the old man in the sea?
Culture is people that don't want you to do what you want to do. They want you to do what they want you to do. But that's what they're doing.
The ocean is the same as it has always been before man set about in boats.
There are 3 sports: boxing, bullfighting, and racing. The rest are just games.
It's true.
To go out like a man is to set yourself on fire in the bathroom of your favorite bar. Ernest Hemingway, tell me about him.
Well, he was a man's man, an alcoholic, a womanizer, a philanderer, someone who wrote with very few adjectives, traveled the world, wrote from everything from the green hills of Africa
To the Garden of Eden, to the old man in the sea.
You know, Hemingway was a larger-than-life figure who caroused and drank through the saloons of America to the salons of Paris, hung out with very artistic lesbians, and looked at F. Scott Fitzgerald's penis at one point closely.
So should we go to the Ernest Hemingway look-alike competition?
Let's do this! All right, here we are. We're in Key West, Florida. Behind us is Sloppy Joe's Bar. That's where the Ernest Hemingway look-alike competition takes place. It's called Hemingway Days. What do they call the Hemingway impersonators?
Papas.
We haven't actually seen any papas quite yet.
It's hard to tell because a lot of people here kind of look old, they're kind of fat, and they have beards.
Some of them have red berets. You think that guy's a papa? Can we zoom in on that guy right there? Nick. Sir, are you a papa?
Yes, I am.
What does it mean to be a papa?
You got to look like this. What do you think? This actually is a lot of charity that goes from this. A lot of kids get scholarships, nursing scholarships, college. Helps this community here. Now, he's a veteran. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, my God. He's my idol.
finalist 7 times.
This is my idol.
I'm Ernest Hemingway. I'm going to be that guy tonight. I mean, I've been to his house in Cuba. You know, not many people can say that.
What makes you more Ernest Hemingway than the other guys?
Making love every day.
Every day?
That's what Papa Hemingway would have done. Hey, girl. I'd say sex had a lot to do with it.
What's the largest animal you've ever taken down?
Big bull elk.
You strangle it?
No, shot it with a 30-06. I'm an excellent shot, just like Ernest Hemingway was. Well, Ernest Hemingway wrote about life, the running of the bulls.
Dude, people will
in
dick
Spain.
ride for
He
anyone.
publicized that. He was too young to fight in World War I. He became an ambulance driver. He was close to the war.
He commanded a room when he came in, and I don't really do that. You know?
Well, you commanded the whole room to say that you're the most, I mean, you won a contest in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah, and
This
that's
guy's the winner.
probably the most outgoing I've ever been. My name's Craig Fawcett. I'm Papa 2012. I won in 2012.
What's the
Gotta
papa
look
thing?
like
I missed
Hemingway.
that.
I would like to go back and do some marlin fishing with him on his boat, you know.
He was like a man's man. He was a sportsman, a fisherman, a hunter, a boxer. The booze, the boats, and the boobs.
Ernest Hemingway, hell of a writer. I think I might have had as many concussions as he did. When I was in school, he was required reading. And I went to high school about a mile from where he
Dude, they're gonna
was
make
born.
fests like this
Although
for
our school
Elon
wasn't
Musk.
built yet.
I mean, he was like notoriously a piece of shit. I never knew him personally, but if I did, I would probably be like, "You're a piece of shit." But he like drank a lot, which like same, but like, don't like beat your wife.
Guys, we're gonna go get slushies and stop being trolls.
Yeah, that's the fucking woman's perspective. I love it.
No.
You've got these
He
fucking
loves
weirdos
all the-
who are
he
like,
loves
yeah, he was
Spain.
big and
He loved
tough.
everybody in Spain.
He loved everybody in Spain. All right. And the women are like, yeah,
Thousands of
he was a
years
fucking
to learn
woman
stuff,
beater.
and
Fuck
so
him.
it would make sense that the people in the 1,000 years, like, as we go on,
That's what they're doing. They want to close you out to make you be like them, and the way they want you to act.
Ernest Hemingway made his
That's
home
right.
here in Key West. You know, he'd hunted a lot of things. Lions, tigers, elephants, even man on occasion.
You know, there were rumors at his fourth marriage. They were up to some things. If you see the Ken Burns series on Hemingway, maybe he was doing something else on the side.
You think that maybe Hemingway swung both ways?
I don't say swing both ways with men, but I think his fourth wife, they had certain things that they did with one another or to one another.
Oh, like she was pegging him.
That's pegging? Okay, yes.
Do you think you have what it takes to become the next Papa?
Yes, I do. I think I've got the look. I think I've got
Dude,
everything
I
that goes
wanna
with
be
it.
the
I'm a little
next
more
Papa.
irreverent than maybe some of the others. But yeah, I think I do.
Professionally, I work as a clinical psychologist.
What does Ernest Hemingway mean to you, you know?
I think Ernest Hemingway has a uniquely American.
That's a baby Papa. Look at that white, look at that brown
work.
beard.
Because it's
I want to be a baby Papa.
unapologetically optimistic.
As a psychologist, does it trouble you that Ernest Hemingway killed himself because he wasn't a good writer anymore?
That is an outcome that's not uncommon given his time, his place, his life experience. We're having a lot of fun here.
How do you want to go out?
90 years old, sneaking in a beautiful woman's bedroom and getting shot by her husband.
Yes!
Is,
Hell yeah, dude!
In my opinion, the manliest app. Terms apply, guys.
I will say, I like watching Channel 5, like generally speaking. What the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Are there people in here? No. Y'all are bots, yeah? If you're not a bot, say something. I'm curious. But there's no way I've not advertised this stream anywhere. So y'all are just bots. Oh, they broke my keyboard, dude. Come on. Well, now I'm gonna get carpal tunnel or whatever.
Let's see how many.
have to actually have lived these stories. You need to have been shot at. You need to have been bitten. Fort Lauderdale Beach. I leaned on a kid's Camaro. Right. He didn't like that. All I know is I got up off the beach. I was covered in sand, broken cheekbone, which still plagues me to this day.
What's the closest to death you've ever come?
Swimming with sharks, hanging with Jamaicans, Hanging out with
Swimming
Colombians.
with sharks is not dangerous. Like, one person a year gets bit by sharks, like, ever.
Say no more.
Your name's Dave Hemingway?
Not that I'd do it.
You're related to Ernest Hemingway?
Not related, no, not related.
Your last name
The
is...
first Hemingway that ever won the contest. It takes perseverance and somebody who's not overly concerned with winning, because the Hemingway Society is more like a fraternity.
So here we are right now. We're inside Sloppy Joe's. It's the semifinals. All the dudes behind you right here, they're called the Papa Judges. They're all former contestant winners. They're going to judge the whole competition.
The winners get to judge? Let's go.
Mamas and papas, the excitement you bring is outstanding.
Hemingway would say more badass shit than that.
And if you give me the opportunity and the privilege to be a papa, I will work tirelessly.
None of these guys have like killed a giraffe or anything, and it's like.
I, like many here tonight, am often called out with, "Hey Hemingway, I love your books."
Been to the bar in Venice, Harry's Bar, been to bars in Paris.
And I want you to know that there are bigger fish than this out there.
Oh my God, look at you! And look at you! And look at all of you!
Just like Papa, I love Sloppy Joe's, and just like Papa, I love my rum.
God damn, that was fun.
Who do we think's gonna win? My strategy is to be different. My strategy is to stand out. Throw it out there. Don't sit there being mumbler in the microphone, as I call them, but a lot of positive energy, a lot of good vibes, and go out there and just put it out there. You got it, baby! We're here! I didn't get the message about the damn shirt. Look at that, man. You see that? But you know what? I got something for you right now. A 1 and a 2. And I'm just a wannabe who's wrong as wrong. Well, I'd like to lay naked when I sing this song. We're back in Key West at old Sloppy Joe's. And what goes down from there, nobody knows. Hey, it's a drunken wannabe's dream. Yeah, baby! I'm crazy. Who's gonna be Papa 2022?
It is 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They just wrapped up the final round of the Hemingway Days competition, so within about 30 minutes, they're gonna announce the new Papa. Do you think the new Spider-Man movie's too woke?
I haven't seen it yet, but probably is, yes.
Could you explain to me why you're a man wearing a Spider-Man costume with the Confederate flag who works for InfoWars?
Well, we don't call it the Confederate flag anymore. We call it a rebel flag or a Southern flag. Yes.
You work for InfoWars?
Freelance, you know.
How's the war going?
Excellent. We're whooping ass. Nobody likes the New World Order anymore.
I'm just surprised because I didn't know that Spider-Man had political leanings.
It's not politics anymore, it's war. Politics are over, dude. Politics are when you negotiate. No more negotiations.
You're gonna start war?
No, we're gonna militarize the border and legalize marijuana. That's what we're gonna do.
What do you think Spider-Man or Peter Parker would make of the World Economic Forum?
We have an enormous fucking mental illness problem. Like, one, people can't get access to adequate care. That's a big issue. Two, it's such a, like, it's something that people don't even, like, realize exists. So, like, this guy's parents had no clue that their son was fucking insane and needs to get on medication, so they never, like, medicated him. And so he becomes this person who's gonna ride around on a fucking scooter freelancing for fucking InfoWars in a Spider-Man costume, okay? Like, you can be silly, you know what? Like, you can wear a Spider-Man costume. I'm not saying that that's, like, you know, clear evidence of mental illness. But when all these things come together, like, this is what it tells me, that this guy needs to be on, like, citalopram or Zoloft, and, you know, probably earlier in life, and then this probably, you know, maybe it wouldn't have happened.
Well, he would tell you that there's a reason that it's in the capital city of Ethiopia. Okay, why is the Economic Forum headquarters in the capital city of Ethiopia, folks? Why? Because that's where King Solomon kept the Ark of the Covenant. I mean, that's where the Ark of the Covenant is, but that's where King Solomon...
Oh, that's why! This guy solved it! Confederate Spider-Man figured it out that no one else could.
Its bloodline is when he married the Queen of Sheba, so that's why it's there.
Oh!
That's the only reason it's there. Otherwise, it'd be in Copenhagen or Washington, D.C. or something.
That's why!
Yeah.
I think it's in Belgium.
No, the World Economic Forum for the UN is headquarters is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Yeah.
And that's where the Ark of the Covenant is?
The Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia, yes. Yep.
Then fucking go find it and like win your Nobel Prize. Like, what the fuck?
First guy I've ever seen that has something this cool in my life.
Oh, thank you. It's called Made in the Shade.
Do you have an engineering background?
No.
Do you think the devil is real?
Who?
The devil?
Nah, it's bullshit.
Let's go.
You like Ernest Hemingway?
He was okay. He was kind of a pig. You know, he was married 4 times, divorced 4 times, had 2 wives, had one here and one in Cuba at the same time.
You think it's kind of weird that all these guys are dressed like him?
Everything's weird here, but you know, you just let it be. For instance, I had a hooker that was renting from me, and she was saying that she was helping save men from ruining their marriages. I didn't understand that logic. But
Jeff is my favorite Papa, but I don't think that he looks or acts anything like Ernest Hemingway. In a way, I think that makes him the most Hemingway-like. Yeah. Hemingway being a man's man, radical individual. Jeff is Hemingway, not these other douchebags. I thought that the previous winners of the competition, the Papas, had sort of a smug attitude.
I'm Ernest Hemingway.
I mean, it's a lifetime appointment. The only other people in America who get that are the Supreme Court judges, and they just banned abortion.
He's the official conch shell champion of the U.S. Who do we think's gonna win? We are happy to have you. Man, you are just packed in here tonight. Look at this. Love it. We have some heavy hitters on the schedule tonight. Heavy hitters.
Some of these Hemingways more so I could pick like a favorite. You know what I mean?
Your 2022 Papa is
How do you feel, man?
Oh, woe is me, woe is me. I'm devastated, totally devastated. But you know what?
No.
It don't get no better than this.
Is there a part of you that feels like you kind of got robbed?
No, not really. I know everybody on this stage that made it. Hey, it is what it is.
There's something to be said for just like taking everything in stride, you know, keeping it pushing.
Sure, you see it. We're having a good time.
Appreciate you, Jeff.
All right.
Thank you, man.
God.
How do you feel right now? You just won.
Ecstatic.
Is there a part of you that feels like you kind of got robbed?
No, not really. I know everybody on this stage that made it. Hey, it is what it is.
Hello, mic
There's
check,
something to
mic
be
check.
said for just like taking everything in stride, you know, keeping it pushing.
Sure, you see it. We're having a good time.
Appreciate you, Jeff.
All right.
Thank you, man.
God.
How do you feel right now? You just won.
Ecstatic.
Can you describe the feeling of ecstasy?
I wouldn't go quite that far, but
Why you?
I've been here a while. This is all about an education fund. It's also about a family and friends. And this is a very, very tight group of brothers.
The more money you raise, the better chance you have.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. What's the most confusing and mysterious thing that you've ever seen?
Confusing and most Skinwalker Ranch.
What is a skinwalker?
A skinwalker is a shapeshifter out in the Utah Basin that the Indians, over the years have said it's in the basin. It's a shifter. It can go from a person, it can go to a coyote, it can go to any certain ships and a shapeshifter, but they have those out there in the Utah Basin where the Skinwalker Ranch is.
What do you think Ernest Hemingway would do if he saw a skinwalker?
Shoot it. He'd probably try to shoot it.
What's the biggest bird you've ever seen?
I saw a condor out at in the Grand Canyon.
Those guys know how to ask the right questions because of course that guy had an answer. Like if you were to ask me that question, see, I'm an uninteresting person. You ask me what is the biggest bird I ever saw, and I could not tell you. I mean, so here's kind of a weird story, kind of a lame story, thinking about it. And I don't even know if it was real, okay? I walked out of my house to like the balcony. It's like a 2-story house. To the balcony in the backyard. And I'm standing there. And I'm standing there for like 3 seconds. I'm just standing. A bald eagle flies in, being attacked by 2 crows. And they duke it out in like my backyard, like garden area. They fight for like 3 seconds on the ground. And then they fly away. And like to this day, I'm like 95% sure that happened and I saw it. And I'm like 5% did I dream that a little bit. Like, anyway. Okay, I mean, Kurzgesagt? New Kurzgesagt?
Black hole stars may have been the largest stars that ever existed. They burned brighter than galaxies and were larger than any star today or that could ever exist in the future.
The largest known star. Holy hell. Dude. Black hole stars? This is probably one of those things that existed in like the very early universe for like 5 seconds. You know, the very early universe like was a weird place for the first like couple 100,000 years of the universe. A lot of weird stuff going on there.
But besides their scale, what makes them
This is one of those, I want to... Sun comparison. How big is the sun? Yeah, this is one of those things. Yeah, there's the sun. There's like one of the bigger stars. Anyone watching this has probably seen one of those like comparisons. Well, one, no one's watching this yet. Anyway, let's move on.
Special and weird is that deep inside, they were occupied by a cosmic parasite, an endlessly hungry black hole. How is that even possible?
Good question.
Black hole stars take the weirdness of black holes and go beyond to break everything we know about how stars form and grow. They were only possible during a short window of time.
Exactly, dude. I fucking knew it. I'm too much of a fucking nerd. Yeah, the first like 300,000 years of the universe's existence was like super weird stuff. After that, it mellowed out. You can see right here they did a good job with this graphic. Star formation starts to occur around 300,000 years after after the universe was formed. I mean, as far as I know, stars as we know it, because apparently they're going to be talking about something called the black hole star. I don't know.
In the early universe, but if they existed, they would solve one of the largest mysteries of cosmology. Black hole stars were excessive any way you look at them. The most massive stars today may have about 300 solar masses. A black hole star had up to 10 million solar masses of nearly pure hydrogen. Let's take a moment to look at what this means visually. The Sun, Wesen, LL Pegasi, the largest star, and finally the black hole star.
Okay, hang on, I got to rewatch this. Okay.
To 10 million solar masses of nearly pure hydrogen.
Excuse me.
Let's take a moment to look at what this means visually. The Sun, Wesen, LL Pegasi, the largest star, and finally the black hole star. Its scale is beyond words.
Yeah,
over 800,000 times wider than our Sun, 380 times larger than the largest star we know today. And far below its surface is a black hole, growing rapidly as it devours billions upon billions of tons of matter per second. Normally, stars are born from gigantic clouds, collections of thousands or millions of solar masses of mostly hydrogen. In these clouds, matter starts to accumulate around the densest spots inside. As these spots get denser, their gravitational pull intensifies and they grow faster. Eventually, they generate so much heat and pressure that they ignite fusion reactions, and a new star is born. But this puts a limit on their size. Nuclear fusion releases enough radiation energy that the surrounding gas cloud is blown away. The new baby star can't gather more mass.
Aww.
From now on, the star is living on the edge between two forces: gravity pulling in, trying to squash the star, and radiation created by fusion pushing outwards, trying to blow the star apart. After millions or billions of years, the core runs out of fuel and the balance breaks, destroying the star. But black hole stars were very, very different. The beasts of the early universe.
Let's go.
A few 100 million years after the Big Bang, when the universe was much smaller, all the matter in existence was much more concentrated. The universe was much denser and hotter. Dark matter was a dominant player, forming giant structures called dark matter halos. These dark matter halos were so
dark matter. So dark matter is like some substance that has mass, but we don't know what it is my understanding of dark matter. I don't know too much about it really. I think the way we know about it is like we can look at a galaxy and see like how many stars it has, how many planets we can estimate, and we can estimate how much mass that galaxy should have. The thing is, like all these galaxies have like too little mass to like operate the way they operate, like their amount of gravity they have or something like that. You know, the way they're like held together, there's not enough mass of just stars and stuff in them. Not nearly enough, like not even a tiny, you know, fraction of enough. But what else is there? We can't see anything, so we just say there's something out there called dark matter. It doesn't interact at all with regular matter whatsoever, except through gravity. And so that's what dark matter is from a very rudimentary perspective, I think. I mean, I could be wrong, but...
massive that they pulled in and concentrated unimaginably gigantic amounts of hydrogen gas, becoming the birthplaces of the first stars and galaxies. Epic clouds of hydrogen formed, some as massive as 100 million suns, more than the mass of small galaxies. In this unique environment that will never exist again, the enormous gravitational pull of the dark matter halos drew gas into its center and created extremely massive stars. As we said before, when a star is born, it blows away the gas cloud that created it. But these titanic gas clouds in the early universe were so large and massive that even after their birth, more and more gas piled on the newborn star, making it grow to unbelievable proportions. The young star is forced to grow and grow and grow, getting more and more massive, until in some cases it reaches up to 10 million times the mass of our Sun. Crushed by gravity, its core gets hotter and hotter, desperately pushing outwards, trying to blow itself apart, but to no avail. There's too much mass and too much pressure. The balance is impossible to uphold. Like a supernova on fast forward, the core gets crushed into a black hole. Normally that would be the end. Today's stars go supernova, a black hole forms, and things calm down. But in this case, the star survives its own death. A tremendous explosion rocks the star from the inside, but it's not enough. The star is so large and massive that not even a supernova can destroy it. But now it has a black hole for a heart. It's tiny, a few tens of kilometers in the center of a thing the size of the solar system. The monster grows. Stars are born from ever faster spinning and collapsing gas, and so they also spin. When a black hole is born from the core of a star, it keeps its angular momentum. This means that matter that gets drawn in doesn't just fall in a straight line, but instead begins orbiting the black hole, in smaller and smaller circles, going faster and faster. The result is an accretion disk where gas orbits at nearly the speed of light. Only a small amount of gas actually falls in at any given moment. Basically, black holes put a lot of food on the table and only nibble at it. But the matter trapped in the accretion disk doesn't have a good time. Friction and collisions between particles heat it up to temperatures of millions of degrees. Actively feeding black holes have accretion disks that are incredibly hot and powerful. This heat from the disk further restricts how much a black hole can devour, just like the core of stars. The superhot material creates radiation that blows away most of the food within its reach. So even if a black hole had access to as much food as it desired, it can only grow slowly. A black hole embedded inside a black hole star is different. The enormous pressure surrounding it pushes down matter directly into the black hole, overcoming all restrictions on how fast it can consume. This process is so violent and releases so much energy that the accretion disk becomes hotter and releases more radiation pressure than any star core ever could. Enough to push back against the weight of 10 million suns. An impossibly dangerous balance has been created. Millions of solar masses pushing in, the angry radiation of a force-fed black hole pushing out. For the next few million years, the black hole star is consumed from within. The black hole grows to thousands of solar masses, and the bigger it gets, the faster it eats, which heats up the star even more and causes it to expand. In its final phase, the black hole star has become over 30 times wider than our solar system, truly the largest star to ever exist in the universe. The intense magnetic fields at its core spew out jets of plasma from the black hole's poles, which pierce through the star and shoot out into space, turning it into a cosmic beacon. It must have been one of the most awe-inducing sights to ever exist in the universe. But this also marks the end. It becomes too stretched, and the accretion disk within too powerful. The parasite destroys its host, blowing it apart. A black hole with the mass of 100,000 suns rips its way out to hunt for new prey while leaving behind nothing but a star carcass. The supermassive question. If black hole stars existed, they could explain one of the greatest mysteries of the universe.
Where did supermassive
The supermassive black holes we see at the center of galaxies are just too big. They shouldn't be possible. Black holes born from regular supernovas can be a few tens of solar masses at most. And because of the process we explained before, they grow slowly after that. If black holes merge, they can form slightly larger black holes of over 100 solar masses. It should take billions and billions of years to make black holes with hundreds of thousands or even millions of solar masses. And yet, we know that some supermassive black holes already had 800 million solar masses only 690 million years after the Big Bang. Black hole stars are a sort of black hole cheat code. If they formed very early in our universe, and the black holes that emerged from them were thousands of solar masses, then they could be the seeds for supermassive black holes. These seeds could take root in the center of the earliest galaxies, merging with others and drawing in enough matter to grow quickly and reliably. Very soon, we may be able to verify their past existence. The James Webb Space Telescope is turning its sensors to explore the farthest reaches of the universe, looking back in time, back to the early universe that we couldn't see before. So, with luck, we might be able to witness glimpses of these tragic titans in the brief moment between their formation and destruction. Until then, let's do the visual journey again, just for fun. Stars are big. Black hole stars, bigger. Planning a long-term project like the James Webb Space Telescope requires some serious budgeting, but even
Dude. Did they get that on 10 minutes on the dot?
like the James
Just shy. Not bad. Yeah, holy shit. That's too much for like an 8 brain to understand, you know what I mean? Like, we cannot comprehend things of that size, of that scale. What we comprehend is I need to run from a lion on the Serengeti, okay? That is what my brain is built to do. It is not built to comprehend these unthinkably big objects in this bizarre thing we call outer space. What is this?
Here's an interesting fact. I lost sleep for a week over this. Ready? The common ancestor between humans and mushrooms.
Yeah, so we're more closely related to mushrooms than mushrooms are to plants. Like, that's the, like, fact he's about to spit out. Like, it's not uncommon knowledge.
Split later than its common ancestor split with green plants. What that means is we
everyone knows this.
and mushrooms are more alike than either we or mushrooms are to green plants.
Well, mushrooms breathe oxygen.
All I'm saying is, you grill a portobello mushroom? What's the first word people use to describe it?
Vegetarian.
No.
God, I fucking hate Joe Rogan, dude. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if like, this looks like a younger Neil. I think this was from one of his earlier moments on Joe. But Neil deGrasse Tyson was on Joe Rogan like a week or a week and a half ago. And like 3 days after that, he's got some like person on his podcast, like a genuinely smart person, and he asks him, "Hey, what do we do about all this rampant misinformation on the internet?" Here, I'll pull it up. It wouldn't take too long. I know the exact moment. It's this guy.
They are quite arbitrary and fixed.
There you go.
Exist people who are that in part of my world here. How is your thinking influenced by the knowledge that in this same society and civilization exist people who are engaged in rampant science denial or rampant misinformation or disinformation?
Joe Rogan,
especially via channels on the internet.
Especially via channels on the internet. You're describing your buddy Joe fucking Rogan, dude. Like, how does he not, like, is he just kind of unaware of, like, who Joe is? Because I'm sure Neil deGrasse Tyson is a busy person. I don't know how how closely to the culture war he really is. So maybe he's just ignorant to Joe Biden, Joe Rogan's, like, lunacy over the last, like, couple years. Anyways. My fucking Seahawks. Who does this guy follow?
How you doing, everyone? Greg and I here.
How you doing? Hello, nice to meet you.
reporting from Geneva. As you can see, we're outside the main train station, among the taxis. The plan of action is this morning. What is the plan of action? How's it going, everyone? You are watching How Not to Travel Europe with me, Tom Davis, and Welsh Greg. Unofficial stepbrother, best pal, and long-time partner in crime when it comes to mischievous adventures. Over the next 5 installments, you'll follow the story of our spontaneous escapade, starting at the wealthy alpine haven of Geneva, and hopefully ending in the medieval capital of Bratislava. With no tent, hardly any planning, and a strict policy of no paying for public transport or accommodation, it promised to be interesting at best. Throw in a few unconventional modes of transport, 6 bizarre challenges, and 9 days to do it all in, it promised to be a cracking adventure. But to understand why, you've got to go back 14 years to a time when me and Greg would set off into the mysterious Staffordshire countryside, aiming for faraway radio masts with nothing but a fiver in our pockets and a lust for adventure. We'd hardly sprouted pubes and we were hopping fences, running from farmers, battling through forests and wading through rivers. These missions are the very foundations of the mission across Wales, and for this trip, in which we aim to rekindle the magic of those early missions, the fun, the mischief, the hairy situations, the interactions with our fellow human beings, and most of all, the stories. Originally, we were supposed to have 10 days for this trip, which was already pushing it, but just 30 minutes before takeoff.
What a start to the trip this is. Flight cancelled.
If you're going to the hotel tonight, Birmingham.
Cheers, EasyJet. It wasn't the end of the world, but it did mean that making good ground each day was now more of a priority, at least for the time being. On the plus side, I did witness this on the way back from Birmingham. But it only served to hasten my desire to leave the country. The next day, though, I was back on the road to Heathrow, annoyingly, but before long I was in Switzerland and ready to join forces with Greg.
Smell the adventure already.
Now, we had a rough idea of where we wanted to get to on our first day, but the uncertainty lay with how we were going to get there. Our plan was to jump on the next train to the wealthy lakeside city of Lausanne, which in itself had its dangers, and then we would try our luck hitching a ride on a speedboat to Montreux. I know what you're thinking. Who the fuck would do that for us? We weren't sure, but we were hoping that with a bit of luck, charm and persistence, we could somehow wangle it. The mad thing is, I'd actually managed to arrange a ride on a luxury boat from Lausanne to Montreux through one of my subscribers, Michael, but that was for the day before. Thanks again, EasyJet. But you know what? Maybe it was better this way. And if not, we'd have to try our luck hitchhiking on the roads. Either way, we had to make it beyond Martigny today, and in an ideal world, the town of Sion. Right now though, we were kind of cacking ourselves about this train. That very same morning, a spanner was inserted gently into our works by our lovely Genevan hosts, who warned that the Swiss ticket inspectors were pretty damn hot, meaning there was a good chance of getting fined or at the very least booted off. We would need to think outside the box if we were to avoid such a calamitous start to the trip. We discovered that the next but one train to Lausanne actually went straight through without stopping, which gave us what we thought at the time to be an idea. I think what we're anticipating is a fat controller, sort of bald ticket man, come over to us, ask us for our ticket to Lausanne, and we go, no, we're going to Nyon. And he'll explain this train doesn't stop at Nyon.
We'll say, when can we get the next ticket back to Nyon from Lausanne? We'll play very sad.
And hopefully he'll just kick us off at Lausanne, no fine. That's what we're hoping. But depends what kind of character he is, I guess, so we'll see. We ambled our way over to the worryingly lavish-looking train, like the clueless tourists we were.
Two guys there in the middle carriage. And they're coming off the train.
Does this all do? For a while we thought it would be fun to try and avoid the inspectors by actively seeking them out, and then using the double-decker layout of the train to bypass them. But they'd thought of their own solution for that. Having two people.
There's a woman now coming this way.
Is she? Okay, let's go.
So, in the end, we admitted defeat, took our seats and prepared ourselves for the inevitable. Maybe if we waffled loudly about our fictional day out in neon, we could add to our innocent facade.
Because he's going to drive us up the to the front.
He is.
We're really putting him out, to be honest.
Then came the moment of truth.
At this speed, mate, I think we're there in about 5 minutes. Yeah, I heard it was 20 minutes, but I'm at 5 minutes. Alright. At least, I mean, 20 minutes would be too long in a sense, because you never actually end up getting there.
I can't wait to see the seafront of Neon. I'm really looking forward to that. They're not even on the stage. He's asking people for tickets in there, mate. He's actually checking people's tickets in there, look. This is it, I think. Do you reckon, Greg?
I think this is it. Lausanne.
You had one job to do and you failed miserably. Right, let's get a ride on a speedboat then. Bonjour.
Pumped from our train ride, we decided to clamber our way down from the station externally. The view from the road confirming that it was completely pointless. But we were in the mood for a mission, and straight away a gap in the buildings got us thinking. We knew the marina was directly south from the train station, and we were keen to get there quick to maximise our chances of a lift. Now, a lot of these roads weren't going south, they were going east to west, and we didn't have a map. So,
straight line missioning in Geneva. Oh yeah. Oh god.
Like someone saying that.
Let's do it. Okay. We'll be there in no time at this rate.
We are walking into a dead end.
Is it a dead end?
Well,
we'll see about that.
See about that, won't we? I was right.
Fucking told you.
our nostalgic shortcuts must have worked wonders. Not only had we reached the lake in record time, but somehow we'd popped out exactly at the marina, where straight away it was time to prepare ourselves to put on our most persuasive charm.
Chances of us getting a